Hey, what is up guys, MKBHD here, and we saw a bunch of new MacBook Pros launched yesterday, and only one of them started shipping that day. And I have my hands on that one, the brand new 2013 baseline MacBook Pro. It's the least different of the bunch that we saw announced, but it is still worth taking a look at because it's one of the best laptops in its form factor. It's super expensive, so it should be, but it is one of the best. So check this out. This is everything you need to know that's new with the 2016 13-inch MacBook Pro. Like I said, obviously it's not a whole lot new, so this will be a pretty quick, easy video. Also, we have obviously the larger 15-inch MacBook Pro with the touch bar. I'm working on getting my hands on that as quickly as I can for a video, so stay tuned for that. And we also have the 13-inch MacBook Pro with a touch bar as well. This is neither of those. This is the 13-inch MacBook Pro baseline, cheapest one you can get without the touch bar. So what comes in the box is pretty standard, nothing new. It's the laptop itself, and then the charger underneath, a USB Type-C charger, because this is the only port you have on this new MacBook, just like the 12-inch. But this time it's more than one port, so that takes me to the first difference, the design. This is a slightly new design, and the new MacBook Pros are thinner and lighter than the last gen, and it shows. The new 13-inch is about 15 millimeters thick and 3 pounds, which is the same as the MacBook Air, and the new 15-inch is going to be about 15.5 millimeters thick and only 4 pounds, which is super dense. And you can tell just by looking at them, they've minimized the footprint, they've really packed everything into this metal body, no taper, just straight rectangles and sharp corners and hard lines. And I'm actually a fan of this industrial design. There's also now a space gray version alongside the silver, but the difference is really subtle. It's actually not a black laptop like you might have thought. So difference number 2 is all the ports. Forget all the ports you had on previous MacBook Pros, forget the full-size USB ports, forget HDMI, forget the microSD card slot, forget Thunderbolt. None of that. It's just USB Type-C and a headphone jack. So this is a lot. This is a continuation bet from Apple that this is all we'll need in the future. And I agree about the future, but obviously this is the present, so you're gonna need some adapters, some dongles to get it to do what you wanted to do with previous Pro machines. The 13-inch MacBook Pro has 2 USB Type-C ports on the side, while the 15-inch has 4. Any of them can be used for charging though, which is nice. So number 3 big new feature or improvement with these is pretty simple. It's the new trackpad. So we've had this new Force Touch trackpad for a little bit in previous MacBooks and MacBook Pros. It's great. This one's just way bigger. You can see it's just this huge surface between the keyboard and the bottom of the laptop. And obviously having it way bigger makes these gestures easier when you now have this huge surface area to work with. And then speaking of the keyboard, that is also new. So gone are the chiclet keys from the MacBook Pros of the past. These are all now rocking the 2nd generation butterfly switches that you might find familiar from the little 12-inch MacBook. These definitely take some getting used to. There's only a couple millimeters of travel. It's a very low travel keyboard. They're not as tactile when typing. And I still personally prefer the old style chiclet keys. Obviously, I like more travel when I get the chance. But this is likely a space-saving decision, so butterfly switches are everywhere now, and this keyboard got that much thinner. And then flanking the keyboard on both the 13-inch and 15-inch MacBook Pros, you can also see the new speakers. This is also similar to the 12-inch MacBook, which if you remember actually had some really loud, super impressive speakers in that little body. And I have listened to the new speakers on these new MacBook Pros, and they also sound really, really good. So that's at least a bonus, even if you are keeping the headphone jack. And then last but not least is the new displays. So they're still the same resolution as before, still the same Retina displays, the same 13-inch and 15-inch sizes, but they're now 67% brighter, have 67% better contrast ratios, and show 25% more color, so a wider color gamut. Now that's actually a really huge brightness increase, and I actually noticed that right away when you're looking at the display outdoors. I don't even have to max out the display to see it pretty clearly, which is awesome. We'll have to see how this affects battery life, but yeah, these new screens look really good. Other than that, you have the new chips inside, the new updated specs, which all look pretty great, significantly faster flash storage, up to 2 terabytes, and Intel's new 6th generation iSeries chips, and everything else you'll recognize. I think it's a pretty solid upgrade, but I am definitely personally waiting for a maxed out 15-inch MacBook Pro with touch bar and everything. I'm convinced. I played with it for less than an hour, and I'm convinced that's going to be my next mobile editing machine. This little guy isn't perfect, obviously. No SD card slot is a real bummer when you're calling it a Pro machine. The webcam is still poop quality. Sorry, it's probably not going to change anytime soon. And there's no more glowing Apple logo on the back of, I guess, any Apple laptops now. And the MagSafe was one of Apple's best inventions ever, in my opinion, and that's gone with the new USB Type-C charging. But overall, if you were considering a MacBook Air, even though this one technically doesn't replace it, it's one-upping it in every category. So I would consider this over the MacBook Air for a thin and light. Even if it has the word Pro in the name, you can just kind of ignore that. So that's been it. That's what you're getting with the new 13-inch MacBook Pro. Let me know what you guys think. And again, I'm really pumped for the 15-inch MacBook Pro. I keep saying it. I don't know if I'm overreacting about the Touch Bar, but I'm a Final Cut user. It looked sick having your whole timeline in there. There's obviously other things that I'll have to test, but that Touch Bar, it's got my attention. I'm ready for it. Either way, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.